everyone. So today we're going to be presenting on Girl Boss and largely like the phenomenon terminology behind it. So my name is Jackie.
My name is Haley.
Okay, so to get us started, we kind of wanted to introduce our thesis, which is that we want to explore the girl boss rhetoric and phenomenon. Generally speaking, this terminology continues to be perpetuated onto female identifying business owners as a way of uplifting and subscribing to this culture that minimizes and genders accomplishment and process. And we will kind of explain that in the next few slides. So, what is the girl boss phenomenon? So, it is basically comprised of women seeking leadership positions or support in their positions, navigating the ropes of creating their own businesses or being successful in the business world that is mostly male dominated. The community promotes ideologies of like hustling and grinding as a means to achieve success. Through the creation of a book that triggered the girl boss phenomenon, many female identifying founders, enthusiasts, and others have subscribed to this culture that they're under the impression will guide them in the right direction towards success. However, we argue that the language and culture of the girl bosses or boss babes, lady bosses, whatever you want to call them, has grown to become a point of criticism as it has increasingly normalized and triggered stereotypes that are extremely problematic. It also intentionally or not has minimized the accomplishments. And so now we kind of want to show just the first minute of this video, which kind of shows us the ways in which like these girl bosses are shown in like mainstream society or like media.
Did you send me over here to increase brand visibility or be liked?
Honey, I think you can do both.
The girl boss is everywhere. Popularized in 2014 by Nasty Gal founder Sophia Amoruso, the term girl boss is often used as a term of empowerment. It refers to confident, take-charge women who pursue their own ambitions and who aren't beholden to anyone else. But on screen, the girl boss is often portrayed as somewhere between satire and villainy.
I need that list to call on 5 empowering roles for women over 40. That would be better played by Jennifer Lawrence.
So how did we come to love to hate her? While the girl boss may be a relatively new phenomenon, she has her roots in the many female boss characters we've seen over the years. She's a woman who is tenacious and determined.
Took me 5 years in night school, but I got my degree and I got it with honors.
Her ambition sometimes makes her difficult.
Just another disappointing, useless male.
But this is because she's constantly aware that she has to play a man's game.
Do you think I act like a man? I guess you have to, a little.
And she's often forced to choose between her career and her personal happiness.
Because I have 2 lives and I don't have time to enjoy either one of them.
The girl boss, on the other hand, offers a moneyed, more millennial spin on the female boss. She's a product of the social media era, and technology rules her business and her personal life.
I'm happy to share my Google Cal with you if you want to make actual plans.
Did you send me over here to increase brand visibility or be liked?
Oopsies.
Okay, so now getting to the founder of Girl Boss. So Sophia Amoruso was a teenager when she launched her fashion company. She kind of started off like on Etsy, and then like as time went on, like created a website, and Nasty Gal was like born to what it is today. And after seeing a lot of success, she somehow mismanaged funds, which led her to having to sell Nasty Gal to survive the financial strain that it had caused her. So like she filed for bankruptcy, and I think it was around 2014 when Girl Boss, the book that she had written, was like named New York Times bestseller. And as a result, there was a Netflix series that was about a season long, and then Amoruso went on to found the Girl Boss Media, which is a company that like promotes women empowerment and is meant to connect different women in different areas of fields, I think. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of background knowledge on that.
So the questions that we're going to be addressing in this presentation and also in our final paper is, hold on, let me just move this real quick. How does the girl boss movement perpetuate sexism in the media? How does language here simultaneously perpetuate marginalization and representation? And can there be a balance between the two? And lastly, in what ways do girl bosses go against gender roles, and how is this empowering for other women? Okay. So for for leadership positions, because women aren't seen as tough, assertive, or direct, which are stereotypical qualities of a good leader, they're considered inadequate compared to men. This places successful women in a catch-22, that being when they behave aggressively in the workplace, they may be acknowledged, but they're often disliked because they're going against gender norms, and this can lead to negative repercussions later in their career. And alternatively, being too friendly can lead to weak leadership decisions that may impact the team as a whole. Female leaders are also, female leaders in typically masculine positions have to remain confident. And even when like men's doubts and criticisms are meant to threaten it, generally women are seen as overly emotional. And for example, the previous Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, states that many of my colleagues made me feel that I was overly emotional, and that I worked hard to get over that. In time, I learned to keep my voice flat and unemotional when I talked about issues I considered important. In the end, I successfully changed opinions. Like this Pew research points out, due to sexism and marginalization, leadership positions require that women be more qualified than men to obtain the position in the first place.
And so now we're going to move on to language. So pronouns and titles, obviously we're looking at girl boss and the specific use of using the word girl in this sense kind of infantilizes like women and their accomplishments. The English language has a really long history of also like using the pronouns of men to refer to all people, and has long associated like titles and names for women that has had negative implications. So like we're seeing this again with girl boss, and it really feeds into like this history of exclusion and subordination of women. And so by using distinguished labels and groups also further isolates women and denormalizes integrating women into male dominated spaces. And so this kind of creates a tension of language between at what point are we empowering women versus at what point are we marginalizing them by using this title. Um, and in the gender stereotyping in the English language reading, Richardson kind of points that the linguistic practice defines females as immature, incompetent, and incapable, and males as mature, complete, as like Haley mentioned in the leadership slide. And so also like thinking about girl boss and like how that's kind of being used within like the male gaze, and like recreating and like bringing these stereotypes of the past into today's society.
So for female role models, media platforms such as television, radio, cinema, newspapers, magazines, and other internet-based websites are great ways to encourage gender diversity in traditionally male-dominated spaces. For example, in a 2019 study, they found that watching political shows like Madam Secretary, The Good Wife, and Scandal can lead to subsequent positive effects, including increased political participation in women. So female male leads in these shows are definitely a different way to encourage women to participate in typically male suited positions. Another way is the absence and underrepresentation of women in STEM fields can also be marginalizing. Many female STEM majors are exposed to almost exclusively male advisors and professors, and this perceived dissimilarity makes their achievements seem unattainable. Luckily, though, today there's organizations like GLOW and Launch GURLs, it's like girls, that are creating programs for young women that target professional development and financial independence. With the help of their Girl Boss advisors, mentors, and online resources, participants learn essential business concepts such as exploring market, value creation, budgeting, and the significance of pitch development as they build their business plans. So in conclusion, instead of using language as an avenue for empowerment, we suggest actually endorsing the visibility and availability of powerful women. Language can perpetuate the marginalization and representation of female founders through their infantilization of their pursuits and success. According to Ehrman et al., which is one of our resources, exposure to similar role models increases an individual's career motivation, performance, perceived success, academic and career aspirations, and reduces self-stereotyping. So having supportive mentors and advisors is a great way to encourage women in the workforce. And these are our sources. Thanks.